Hi guys, Chris here with Super Savvy Travelers. Hey, I just wanted to pop in and give you some really important tips on purchasing your home in Italy. There's so much to it, and it's so different than buying a house anywhere else. So I wanted to go over some things that you might not expect when you're purchasing your house in Italy. Now, before I go on, I want to tell you, you need to sign up and take our course. We developed this course because we saw a lot of things that people were not knowing, and they were getting in trouble. So we made this course specifically for you guys. It's simple, it's inexpensive, it's fun, and it's going to give you everything you need, a really nice base for you to move on and buy your Italian property. Now, one of the first things I wanted to let you know is, and I've said this many times, there's no multiple listing service in Italy. So if you want to purchase a property, you have to go to the different agencies. So the agencies have their inventory, and they don't share generally. Sometimes they will on a very high-end property, but generally they don't share. So if you want property A, you have to go to agent A. If you want property B, you have to go to agent B. And so that means you can be running around with 5 or 6 different agents, depending on how many properties you want to see. Also, it changes the relationship between agent and buyer. A lot of the agents, from my observation, are more interested in the seller than the buyer. They're going to be more on the seller's side. Why? Because the seller's already signed a contract with them. The buyer may or may not buy. So you might be running into a situation where you think they're on your side, and many of the honest ones are. They can be very good, but some of the other ones, not so much. They might tell you some things that are not true. So make sure you understand that relationship. Make sure you do your due diligence. Make sure you check with your attorneys. Make sure you check with your architect, engineers, or geometras for any sort of technical renovation type questions. Make sure you really understand what you're getting into. Another thing that you want to know is that there are no real disclosures. Like in California, you sign page after page of disclosures. The last property we bought, and this is why I will probably never buy another property in California, is the disclosures like this. You're disclosing that they disclosed. Oh my gosh, it's ridiculous. And you leave and you've got your deed looks like this, and it's unbelievable. The deeds in Italy are about 3-4 pages long generally, and they usually boilerplate, super simple, but there's not a lot of protections for buyers over there. So you have to know what you're doing. You have to know what you're getting into. So there's that. Now, another important factor is kitchens are not included in the property. It is understood that they are furniture, as are lighting fixtures. Okay, many times they leave the lighting fixtures, but a lot of them are not nice. They're old. However, you can go into a house and see these beautiful Murano lighting fixtures up there. And I'll tell you something, I can guarantee you they probably won't come with the property unless you specifically include them and probably pay more. The Murano lighting fixtures are very expensive. So you could walk into a villa, you could see these fantastic chandeliers and lighting fixtures, and the place looks so stunning, it's so beautiful. The kitchen is massive and expansive and very, very expensive. And you go in and you buy the place and you walk in, the lighting fixtures are gone and the kitchen's gone. Understand, these are not understood to be included in the deed. If you want them in the deed, you must include them in the deed and in the compromesso. The compromesso is the promise to buy and sell. This is where you're going to lay out all of the agreements. So if you have a compromesso and you have in it that you want to keep the kitchen and the seller signs it, that kitchen's included. Make sure you get a picture of that kitchen, and make sure you get a picture of any furniture that's included, because we've seen situations where a friend of ours actually bought a place in Scalea, and she went in and she saw these beautiful, furnishings in there. It was set up as a B&B. And then when she went to buy the place, she did the walkthrough very smartly beforehand. They had swapped out the furniture. They put in junky stuff that nobody wanted, and she was not happy about that. So that can happen. You have to have the compromesso that indicates that it's sold furnished with pictures of the furnishings, pictures of the lighting fixtures, pictures of the kitchens. Everything must be spelled out, so there's no argument. Now, another thing that are not included necessarily are things like AC splits. Most of the time they do come with the property, but they're not necessarily understood to be included. Make sure you include those in the compromesso. Also, heat stoves. We had a situation in Santa Domenica with our clients with this goofy seller. Anyway, the only heat in that house was a wood stove, and it wasn't that great a wood stove, but it was functional and whatnot. I don't know if our guys wanted to keep it or not, but they walked in, the wood stove was gone. And I went to Antonello, I said, you took out the only source of heat in the house. He goes, yeah, well, when you buy a house in Italy, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh my goodness, I knew that, but I didn't know it meant heat stoves and AC units. Make sure those are indicated in your compromesso. As we mentioned, the deeds generally in Italy are a few pages long. They are pretty boilerplate. They go over various different articles. I have videos up on the channel here that go over a deed, like a generic deed, in detail to tell you exactly what the boilerplate language is. There's usually some specific stuff. There's always the scheda catastale. The scheda catastale is the floor plans. And the owner, if the floor plans are not reflective of the property exactly as it is right now, they have to redo that. And they have to pay somebody to do it. So they get the scheda catastale redone. Now, very important, most important, when you go to sign the deed in the notaio's office, and the notaio is the guy that works on behalf of the Italian government to make sure that everything is completely in accordance with Italian real estate law. By the way, if you don't use a notaio, you don't own the house. Just know that. Anyway, he's going to give you a copy of the floor plans. And I've seen people go in and they go, yeah, that looks good. They don't really look at it. You have to look at it. Because if there's something not on those floor plans that somebody has promised that you're going to get, you don't get it. In fact, several people have found out after the fact that the garden was not included in the floor plans. And they were told by the agent that it was included, but it wasn't in the floor plan. So they were hosed. The terrace, not included. The ripostiglio, not included in the floor plans. You can be done out of a significant portion of your property if it's not in the floor plan. So when you go to the notaio's office to sign that deed, what I would do is take a copy of the floor plans that you have that exactly match what you see in the property, compare them with the floor plans you're being presented with at the notaio's office. I think it's that important. That way you're getting what people have represented to you. Now, I want to make a caveat. Most people that we've dealt with are very honest, very good, hardworking, wonderful people, but there's the odd one that you might get stuck with and you don't want to deal with that kind of stuff. So make sure you know what you're doing. And don't succumb to pressure or people, clicking their tongues or shaking their heads or rolling their eyes because you want to get an inspection or whatever. Doesn't matter. It's not their money. It's not their future. You do what you need to do.